Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Geek Nerd Dork. I'm Lynn once again, and today it's just a duo again today, but this time is me and Trey.
It's me. I am not the missing one this time. That's
Yes.
change.
Unfortunately, life gets in the way sometimes, and not all of us can be here together at the same time. But hey, we are
Still got a
here.
show.
We are here today to talk about the latest episode of Skeleton Crew, episode 6. No Friends Again. Is that what it was called? See,
Yes.
now? Yes. No Friends Again. So, this was a very, very short episode.
And we kind of briefly discussed this off stream, but you said this is not the shortest episode.
No, I believe that episode 2 was shorter, only like by a minute, 2 minutes, something like that.
Still pretty short though.
But it's still very short. But we normally do our overall impression of what did you think of this episode.
Mm-hmm.
What did you think of this episode?
They're really selling the kids on me. I'm really feeling for them. Originally, like I said, I'm not much of a kids person, but I'm now like getting enough attachment to them that I'm like, I have to protect them. These are my kids now, and nothing bad could happen to them. And it definitely, I will admit, I got a little teary, freaking out about KB. I'm like, this is pretty
it was a little,
pretty hard hitting. So yeah, no, I think it was a really good episode, even though it was short, but they packed a whole lot in there in terms of
it was short, but there wasn't like any dead moments or
I wasn't bored at all. I mean, even though not a lot of action really took place, it didn't feel like it was filler. It felt like this was actual connections being made.
Stuff. Yes. Well, and there's several callbacks in this episode. I mean, back from when I want to say it was like the third episode, one of those times when we went to the at the beginning, it was the parents, all the kids' parents, when they were at Fern's house and they were talking, and KB's moms were there, and they said something about how she's got this medical condition.
Mm-hmm.
And well, now we understand it.
Yeah, I really didn't. I mean, I think I expected something just because I know sometimes in Star Wars, I don't know what they call the visor, but
she's got the whole Lobot thing going on.
Yeah. And so I was like, how much is she? Yeah, it was like, is she just like full cyborg android? Like, what is going on there? Yeah. But yeah, they bring up an accident, but we'll get to that. Systematically. But I really enjoyed it.
I enjoyed this one too. Like, it was short, but it was nonstop. Not nonstop, but I didn't feel like there was any slow moments in it.
Yeah, it felt like every bit of dialogue was important. It didn't feel like it was stretched just to.
Yeah, I think if it would have been a longer episode, there would have been those moments like, okay, well, that would have been the filler, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I think they took this episode, they took what they needed, and that was it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It was also, I like her. Bryce Dallas Howard is the one that directed this one.
Yes,
I like her episodes on things that she does.
Yeah, she's directed 3 episodes of The Mandalorian. Mm-hmm. Chapter 4, Sanctuary, which is where we meet Cara Dune. And I think that's one where they like trap
that's from the village with the village and she does good with kids.
Yeah, because that was when also Grogu was interacting with the little school kid. And
that was with Grogu and the little kid, kids in the village.
Yes, yeah.
But I think later on, I think it was season 2 when they went back to Navarro. In the school. Was that one of her episodes too, I think? I don't know.
So her episode in season 2 was with the heiress, which was when Bo-Katan is
introduced. Bo-Katan.
And so that's when they just released, I don't know what the frog lady's name is, but just the frog lady on the pier.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. And then, admittedly, we kind of discussed this too. I've not seen season 3 of Mandalorian, but she did chapter 22, Guns for Hire. No idea what that means.
I don't remember it. It's been a while since I've watched Mando, but yeah, she's done several Star Wars things.
Yeah, and she had directed an episode 5 of Book of Boba, which is the Return of the Mandalorian, which is
that was
episode.
that was like the Mando episode.
Yeah, so I didn't realize because I had to look up who she was because like, who is this director? Because she's doing an awesome job.
Yeah.
Didn't realize that is one of the actresses from Jurassic World.
Yeah, she's Jurassic World. She is Ron Howard's daughter. You know who Ron Howard is?
Yes. So he's the one that directed Solo, which is that his only Star Wars project?
That's his only Star Wars. He is the director of Willow, the original Willow. Okay. That was Ron Howard.
So he's been...
he's worked with
Lucas. Yeah. Interesting.
Well, heck, Ron Howard was in American Graffiti, George Lucas's first, kind of his first movie. He did THX 1138, but that was kind of a weird thing. But so Ron Howard has been around, and so
and I apparently, because I was just I was like kind of on a information binge. I guess she was on set when he was doing Solo stuff, so kind of got some experience just from that itself. So that's definitely I look forward to her doing more. I hope.
Yeah, I like Bryce.
Really good job.
I like her. I like her a lot. Yeah. So I mean, as a director and an actor, I really liked her in the Jurassic World movies too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we got all right. Sort of the beginning of the episode. We sort of have been doing this way through it, sort of talking through the episode. Now you're the one with the notes. I have notes, so this is up to you to keep me straight on some of this stuff.
Yep.
Okay.
It's the first, but
yeah, kind of weird. We start off with John on the planet escaping or trying to escape and getting captured by the pirates. Now, I was happy to see, and I knew you were probably extremely happy to see, Urkel isn't dead, and the Pocket, the bounty hunter, she isn't dead. They did not die in the acid.
Yeah,
in the previous episode.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of screaming in there, so people definitely died. I don't know if some were standing back. I mean, they're pirates. They could just shove somebody in. I don't know. Pleasantly surprised, but not unwelcome.
Yes. I feel, when I saw her in the episode, I'm like, Trey will be happy to know that she is not dead.
Yeah. So that was our immediate okay, cool. Because as soon as the blasters were pointing, I'm like, okay, it's pretty obvious.
And they he calls for Smee to come up and help, and man, they took Smee out real fast.
Smee's not having a good time these last few episodes. He tries and just
he got ionized big time. But I believe it's just ion cannons again, so he's not.
Yeah,
he's not dead. Hopefully.
Yeah, but I will say this to me kind of shows him having more characteristics of being selfish and kind of an anti-hero.
You're talking Jod?
Yeah, because he was covered in treasure and just there was no concern for kids. So
he looted big time before he climbed up out.
Yeah. And
if he would have climbed up quicker, he probably would have made it.
Yeah. And a part of me thinks that I think it was the last episode, where they're in the hotel and the kids were jumping on the bed and he tells them like, knock it off. I'm starting to think that was not concern for them and more, you guys are a liability to me. You have to stop. So I think he just might not be a good person.
He may not be a good guy.
Because he showed no concern about them dropping down the pipes and prioritizing treasure. I think he'll come around by the end, but I definitely think they're trying to do this is not a good person at all.
All right. Well, I think we jumped a little bit about here, since we're talking about John, let's keep talking about him. Because then later on we get him on the pirate ship. Captain Brutus is there, the Wolfman, which is still an awesome character. I think he's pretty awesome too. And he's basically on trial, and Brutus is like, death by airlock.
Which I think it's cool. This is like they're bringing sci-fi to piracy and really like leaning into it. And
well, I'm going to say death by airlock is sort of like walking the plank.
yeah, pretty much. And I don't remember. Yeah, I don't know if we've ever seen someone utilize that as a, I don't know,
Execution.
Yeah, essentially, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we've seen them use the airlock before. I mean, Ahsoka went out of her ship and, fought off stuff on the outside because she had to go out there. I think of, I've never played it, but I've watched the cutscenes because I'm the kind of guy that I am. Battlefront 2, at the very beginning, Iden Versio gets captured by the rebels.
Oh, yeah.
And when she escapes, she shoots herself out the airlock. Corvus comes by, catches her, and they take off. That's what I think of. I mean, so yeah. They utilize the airlock,
Yeah. But it's definitely, I think, very like walk the plank-esque, where there's, I mean, I think space is a little worse than water. I mean,
this is. But Captain Servo, Judd, Jack, Crimson Jack, whatever his other name was, Jude Law.
Yep.
He basically gets to plead his case, and he uses that time instead of pleading for himself, turning the other pirates against Brutus, kind of saying, "Hey, I have the coordinates to act." And he's like, what if you don't ever have to split your take again because there's enough take for everybody? And so it's like, okay, this is him being the bad guy.
Yeah, he's very charismatic. He's definitely a scoundrel.
Ready to take him and then plunder this planet.
Yeah, and there were a few things about just everything that was going on, like the equal time kind of remind me of I was getting a lot of like Jack Sparrow.
This is definitely some major pirate stuff going on.
It was like parlay, like equal time, and just him starting off with just like, I'm hungry, and I was like, is that what he's gonna say? He's like what if you just ended the argument there's like, I'm hungry, and everyone's like, okay.
But that's how he was saying, and
then
he's a people person.
Yeah, and I think he's got that Han Solo, like just that scoundrel vibe of being able to manipulate people to get what he wants. So it'll be interesting. We'll talk more about later where we think it'll go, but
he is.
I think, and he's using, I don't know, he didn't use the lightsaber either.
No, I don't know if. Well, he got captured. I wonder, does he still have the lightsaber?
Yeah, that was my question. Is one, how many people know what a lightsaber is? I'm assuming probably a lot of people.
Yeah.
But I don't know. He uses a lot of like ace up his sleeves kind of thing. Like he does not always play all his cards at once. And I don't know. I'm just leaning towards, I don't know if right now he cares about the kids, but
honestly, I don't think
not looking like it. Yeah.
I don't think he does. I don't think he cares about the kids.
He's kind of just for himself.
It's going to be a race now to who gets to and first, him or the kids. Yeah. And I think even though, I'm sorry, is in trouble.
Yeah. Especially, I don't know how many ships or if it's a whole fleet of, there's a decent amount of ships still.
The pirate ships?
Yeah. They still got quite a few. And
that port was pretty full.
I don't quite think that Atten has any.
No.
I don't know. I guess we'll see if they have defense.
I don't know if they have defenses. Yeah.
I think most of it's been you're just not found, so we don't need it kind of thing. Okay. But one last thing, I really want more Star Wars sea shanties. I think that I was not expecting that
Star Wars
something anytime they release Star Wars music in general, I think
there needs to be a sea shanty.
Yeah, I need more in universe music, like the Huddies 180 song. It was first episode.
Oh, the trailer.
Yeah, I need more Star Wars music that's set in.
I thought you meant shanties in general.
The shanties would be cool too. If we're gonna lean into
no
pirates,
matter what the show is, And
I just want,
okay, we got season 2 of Ahsoka coming up. There better be a sea shanty.
I wouldn't complain. It may not fit, but I won't complain. So, but
Star Wars sea shanties. Okay,
I was down for it.
I
But
didn't realize there was a need for that. But okay,
I didn't know either until it hit, and now I want it. So they should get on that.
Okay,
A Christmas album and sea shanty album.
I don't know who we need to write to make this happen, but
I have no idea. Apparently, maybe Bryce Dallas Howard, because she was the one who directed it. Like, hey, give me more of this. I'm all for it.
Okay,
but I think that was all. That was just the 2 brief things with
Jod.
Yeah.
All right. Well, then, okay. So then we get the kids who luckily did not fall into a pit of spikes.
Nope. They apparently lucked out on that. It went straight to a beach.
The big giant slide, which was fun, I bet. And then luckily they all split up, and I'm like, oh crap! But they all came out at least in the same area, just different tubes. Thank God for that. And they're like, okay. Fern's like, hey, that's our ship up there. We need to climb up there. Wim's like, dude, we're not going to make it up there. These little trash crabs. Let's follow them.
Yeah.
And they split up, but they split up. KB goes with Wim, and Neil goes with Fern. So the friends split up.
And even before we find out anything about KB, I still thought that Neil would have kind of stuck with Wim, but I guess I was a little surprised.
To the ship too.
Yeah, so it kind of surprised me that
Neil went with Fern. I thought maybe Fern would have to go off by herself.
That's what I was kind of expecting. But in terms of the growth we find, I think it worked.
Yes. I mean,
that way.
After the end of this episode, I think, okay, before they were 2 sets of friends, I feel like. Neil and Wim, KB, Fern. I think after this episode, they are 4 friends.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I definitely think it's like a trial by fire. Like there's
no split up anymore now.
Yeah, which I think
4 of them together.
Really, I don't know. I mean, just kudos to the actors for being able to make the bonds seem authentic. But yeah, so they split up. They both think. I love how they were arguing about like, oh no, we'll get there first. Like, okay, yeah, but we'll see you there before you like. We'll
see you when you get there.
Yeah. So they kind of split their ways. 2 are going up, Fern and
Neil are
climbing, and KB and
are following the trash crabs.
Trash crabs, which they're cute. I mean, I guess I don't blame them, but
do you want a trash crab now?
Honestly, if they make it, it's like the same thing with BB-8. Like if they release something adorable, I'm like, dang it, now I got a new thing that I need.
You gotta get a trash crab.
That's the new toy. They know how to market toys.
So sea shanties and trash crabs. Okay.
Yeah, apparently I'm getting a lot this episode.
So Neil and Fern climb it, and KB, yeah. We learn a lot about KB in this episode. And okay, Neil is still my favorite, but I'm really liking KB now too.
I
really like her.
She just, even from the beginning get go, she seemed very like not that they're not smart, but like she was the one that was kind of just aware of things a little more. So
Well, and KB did say she knows the coordinates because she read it and she's got it in her Lobot visor thing. So that's cool.
Yeah,
but
and
we don't need to get to SM-33 to find it, which is good because SM-33 is not on the plane anymore. I'm assuming. I'm assuming they grabbed him when they grabbed Jod.
And then, kind of one tidbit before they like fully split, they see the X-wings fighting, and they're like, "Oh, those are the good guys," which I thought was kind of cool.
And Wim makes a comment about how, well, maybe it's later. Yeah, it's later on when Wim and Neil are in peril. Makes the comment about how he always chooses the wrong people to be the good guys.
Yeah, with the
I
giant.
always get this wrong.
Yeah, it's like, why? Yeah, so that was pretty funny. Insight into a child's thinking of just that trust of everyone and anything. But yeah, so it was,
I'm glad that they're realizing that the X-Wings are good guys, though.
yeah, because I think in general, I don't know. I think when you think of an X-Wing, you think of just those are the good guys. Like that just is the natural thing that comes to mind.
But if you lived on a planet that has been out of contact since the High Republic, at least,
then it's just okay. We got
they're just ships.
No opinion, yeah. So it is kind of cool to see that connection that we, as viewers, already know. Like X-Wings are just like we associate them with the good guys. So thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah, and maybe they are realizing that maybe the kids are starting to realize that Jod isn't a good guy.
Yeah, I think if there was any doubt before, I think this whole experience will probably definitely sell it on them.
Yeah. So they split up, and KB's talking about how she's got these limitations. She can't do everything that Fern can do. And well, first of all, when they fall off the slide, that's when we first really figure out KB's condition, because she doesn't move.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like malfunctioning.
Yeah, because it's Neil who runs over and makes sure that she, and then Fern goes over
and realizes it resets something, or
there's something's off, which then kind of going with that with Fern, the whole reason that KB decides to branch off is that we don't know it yet, but
she knows that this is not going to work for her and she doesn't want to fall off the wall,
and that just Fern always just doesn't listen. She just acts and doesn't necessarily. So so we get more insight into why she is limited. And I don't know how old these kids are, but
not sure.
Watching a child essentially perform an operation, I'm sure that was kind of a jarring experience. I think she even brings up something about saving a life.
When after Wim resets her, and we thought when KB, and then she's like, oh, okay, yeah. She's like, I thought you'd be more excited after you saved somebody's life or something like that.
Molly's just still probably processing the fact that what just happened. I literally had to pour molten wiring into a metal. Yeah. So, but I don't remember if they find the giant crab before or after get her. I think it's after.
Actually, the crab's after she's been rebooted.
Yeah, but she calls him a Jedi, and I think that
just because.
Yeah, I think she knows that's his inspiration.
Yeah,
and I think that really gets him to pick himself back up and kind of gives more. I don't know, just gives him another boost.
Yeah,
to want to keep going. But then while that's going on, it switches to Neil and Fern climbing.
Yep, and Neil's like, dude. Fern's like, come on, you just gotta keep it. And he's like, not everybody can do it the way you do it.
Yeah.
And I think that clicked in Kate, and Fern said that,
I get it.
Yeah, I do I'm this way. And maybe KB is right that I don't always, think of what other people have their abilities are.
Yeah, and I think it just in terms of kind of just the way the scenes are written, it's kind of nice though to have Neil be he is not a human.
No.
So their anatomy is going to be different. So I think it's just interesting.
He's got shorter legs.
Yeah, so I can relate to that. But so it's interesting. I wasn't sure they wrapped rope. I don't know. I don't
know exactly how the rope helped.
Yeah, but it did apparently.
Unless
I don't know if it's
made him feel a little better, he wasn't going to fall or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not still sure how it helped, but it did. That's all that matters. I just think it was I think it was nice for them to. It's just not something that's discussed, I guess, and it felt just in a very nuanced and not forced way to bring up difficulties. in terms of physical limitations like that. So I think it was really, really well written for both Neil and KB. So
Yeah.
But so they're going up. They're still following these little crab things.
Yeah, the trash crabs.
The trash crabs. And then they finally get to like an island destination. And
okay, did we get KB and Women Danger first, or did we get Fern and Neil jumping off because their ship was being impounded?
Yeah, I think we get.
I don't remember which one was first, but
I think we get the crab, and then like right after the crab, and then freaking out.
That's when Fern and Neil make the jump too. I don't know.
Because they
whatever somewhere in that area, it basically happens simultaneously.
Yeah. So they see their ship being hauled by just
I don't know what those were.
Yeah,
drones or something. Luckily, there was a control on top.
Yeah,
Fern could get into.
Yeah, so that kind of worked out for them. But man, I don't know. It's not that I fear heights, but I don't know if I would have made that jump because that is. I mean, I guess if that's your way out, I guess.
Yeah.
But man, these kids are just. They're more daring than I am. So so she gets on there, starts steering it haphazardly, and it's like kind of messing up. And then the other side, turns out as when
that the trash crabs were taking him to Mama Crab.
Yeah. So Mama Crab, not so much a trash crab, just big giant crab crustacean looking thing.
Going to eat them.
Yes. So then it kind of like I'm
not exactly sure how everything went, but
essentially they
get there, they save Fern and Neil, rescue Women KB, and they crash.
Yes.
On their little drone, and the rest of the other drones take their ship farther down. And so they get reunited. Wim's happy to see Neil. Fern's happy to see KB. They have their I'm sorry, no, I'm sorry moment. And now they're four friends.
Yeah, it is definitely a group now, not just
two pairs. It's a group. And then they see their ship about to be eaten, demolished by some kind of trash shredder, furnace, smelter thing. And they hightail to the ship. And this is when they are a group because they all four work together to try to get the ship out.
And it kind of reminded me of just so my knowledge of Star Trek stuff, as you know, is very limited, but it reminded me of that sci-fi where there's an engineer, you have the pilot, like everyone had a role.
Everybody had a role in this, and they all boom, boom, boom. KB's like, I can just go start the engine because she did at the very beginning in the first episode.
Yeah, and she remembered how.
She remembered how, and Neil's like, well, who's going to fly the ship? She's like, well, you're going to fly the ship. You flew the ship earlier.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah. So
and stuff. And so Neil and Fern are there. They're going to take care of that. Wim's like, well, we're not working. It's not working. I'm going to go try shoot it. So he runs to a gun turret and goes up to shoot it because he's did that before. So yeah, they all have their roles of what they should do. They know it. And they can't get away.
Now, I do like.
Okay, go ahead.
Before that, whenever he's shooting the turret, and he's just like, "It's too invincible." Like, I don't know. That was very just a child response of just like, "No, it's invincible. This thing is just I'm shooting it and it's not dying," kind of thing. But and then they're all doing their different thing. I think it's funny that the solution was just like smack the engine or the
hit the engine harder.
Yeah, just hit it. And
now I was a little concerned for a minute when KB's like, I can give you one more boost or something. Is she plugged in?
Yeah, I was like,
oh no.
yeah, I
was deeply concerned that KB was going to sacrifice herself.
Yeah, I was like, oh, this just took a turn I was not ready for after
But-
just literally seeing her get
She
repaired.
didn't sacrifice herself.
Yeah.
But the answer was to push the button that Shmeez told him, never ever push the button.
Push the do not push button.
And I thought that was going to be a self-destruct button. I'm like, okay.
So did I. Yeah, because it was like a total whole destruction. Yeah, I was like, just get, like, it's a loss. Just the ship's done. Get out. But yeah, whole destruction. I was like, are you not in the hull?
Yeah. So I did not expect to shed its skin.
Yeah. What is it? Molting or something like that? That lizards do. Yeah.
Yeah, the birds do. Yeah. So I wasn't expecting that, but now though that they did that, the ship looks a heck of a lot better.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't understand why. I guess I don't understand why was that on the ship to begin with.
My guess is either one, to make it look more intimidating, or to make it so that other pirates didn't try to jump the Onyx Cinder as like, oh, that ship has loot. We got to loot it, attack it, because it's pretty cool looking, honestly. But I do feel bad for the people that bought the Onyx Cinder Lego set that's come out recently.
Oh, it doesn't look
and now
like
there's
anymore?
no, it is the old one, and now we have a new Onyx Cinder. So
no, don't feel bad for those people.
Honestly, they'll probably, I mean, if you have the money for the one,
you're gonna feel bad for people who bought toys. You feel bad for the people who bought the big HasLab Razor Crest. That was like a couple $100. And I mean, those had just gotten shipped out, went out, and everything. And then, like, that next episode of Mandalorian, the Razor Crest got blown up.
Just get blown up, yeah.
Those are the people you feel
bad for. That's fair. At least you still get cool ship and then just the exoskeleton of another cool ship.
Yeah. So, but that was, and now though, now that they hit the do not push button and the ship molted, now it doesn't look like the ship that Jod saw.
Yeah, so I'm curious.
It'll be easier for them to, sneak up.
Yeah, and it will be interesting to hear Smee's reaction to because he's gonna know they hit the do not hit button because he was pretty much the co-pilot of that.
Do not hit the do not button. Yeah.
Yeah, so he's going to know that they definitely hit the do not hit button. So it'll be interesting to see what his reaction is. To. I mean, the ship wasn't technically destroyed. Technically, it was just.
Yeah. Oh man, when they were getting ready, I would have sworn that was going to be a self-destruct button.
Yeah, I was like, this is a really bad decision.
Expecting this.
Yeah.
I mean,
so
like in episode 1 or 2, whatever, when they first talked about the button.
I thought it was meant to be like, this is, you're not going to take me alive kind of pirate.
Yeah, that kind of thing. Yeah.
But no, it just sheds.
And that's the end of the episode.
Yeah, it just and the sad thing is, like, I was enjoying the episode so much, I was like, wait, why is this ending? Like, where's the more?
We need more. We need to keep going.
Yeah. So
like I said though, I think they took everything in this episode that was necessary, and that was it. Anything else that would have been in this episode would have been filler.
Yeah, and I think they're learning. At least it seems like they're learning about what not to necessarily include. You don't need so much filler because I don't know.
But
pacing has been pretty good.
Thinks, man, again, okay, it was only 34 minutes with credits.
Yeah.
So I do like my Star Wars to be a little longer than that. I mean, there were episodes of Bad Batch that were probably longer than this episode.
Honestly, yeah, probably.
So
I don't know. I can see why they would want to go with shorter episodes. But at the same time, I think that is the benefit of movie format.
The benefit of streaming. We got conditioned with network television for all the years before streaming that episodes are an hour long, half hour long. You don't have weird times like you do with streaming now.
Yeah. Well, and I think.
And not all streaming shows are like this, though, because I think, I don't know. I never watched House of the Dragon or anything, but Those episodes were all pretty much consistently the same length of time.
Yeah.
Star Trek. Again, you don't do Star Trek, but Strange New Worlds. Those episodes are all pretty much the same time.
Yeah, it definitely is. It's inconsistent. I don't know. I mean, I honestly would have to look back at when the inconsistency kind of started. I don't remember. I know there's some in The Mandalorian, but
it's Mandalorian. I think it's Disney. I think Disney started the inconsistency.
Gotcha. And I still do like having it weekly though. I feel like it builds up a lot of hype to get excited about versus
I don't have to watch it all at once so I don't get spoiled.
Yeah.
Now I did after this episode, and I mean, most of the streaming shows I watch them, and I watch them once, and I'll go back. I'm like, I've watched Mandalorian. I think maybe a total of twice now, all of them together. I don't go back and watch them over and over and over again. Bad Batch, I watched all those episodes probably basically once, all 3 seasons. But after I watched this, I was like, I want to go back. After this is all done, this is episode 6. There's 8 episodes. We've got 2 more weeks. After it's all 8 episodes are out, I do want to go back, I think, and watch this whole thing, beginning to end, in the shortest amount of time that I can watch it in. May not be all one day because my attention span is not that great.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I don't know.
I want to watch this one again.
Yeah. And it's rare that I usually, like with books, like some books you can read multiple times. Others it's just like, okay, it's just the one. But this is definitely, I don't know. There's something special about this series that is, especially just like, I want to know, like, is there something I missed?
Yeah, definitely. There's definitely things in here. Yeah, like movies. I can watch movies over and over and over again. I do watch movies over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Shows not as much.
Usually I'll just have like, they'll be on in the background while I'm doing something else. And they're like, oh, this part's cool. Let me like look up. But it's entertaining enough, but it's also, this
is one I could just leave in the background. I think this one will be one I will sit and watch. Maybe the 3rd or 4th time through, it'll be on in the background.
Yeah, but there's
this next time through, I think it's going to be, I'm going to sit and I'm going to watch the show again.
Yeah, and there's so many like just like even like at the pirate port, there's just so much on the screen.
Oh yeah,
and I'm like I'm sure there's things that I'm missing, and I would again just for that sole reason of just like pausing and just looking and just taking it all in kind of thing.
Now, and another advantage, I watched, most of these movies, all these episodes, except this last one, I've watched downstairs here in my home theater, big 80 some odd inch screen, projected on. This episode I did watch upstairs on the regular TV, and it's like, okay, yeah, I've gotten spoiled. I need the big screen.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm watching. It's like it's so small.
Yeah, this last episode I watched just on my computer, and I was like, "This, it just worked out the way." I will say though, I don't know if it was just my screen, the big trash mama or dada, like
the big crab.
I could not tell if it was CGI or stop motion because it looked a little weird.
I'm gonna say CGI, but I'm not sure. Honestly, what made me think of it first when I first saw the big giant crab? You ever seen Moana?
Yeah.
That's what first popped into my head.
Yeah,
I was that like, crab.
We're gonna break out in song, like all the little crabs are gonna start singing, kind of thing.
Oh, but that's what popped into my head first.
It just kind of, I don't know. Some of the animation just seemed like
it seemed a little off.
It just seemed off, and I don't know what it was. Because I mean, I can tell practical effects stuff, but there was just something just weird. I not enough to ruin the show for me. I was like, that's kind of weird, but I just didn't know if it was
before
my screen.
I didn't notice anything because I have the Star Wars goggles.
Yeah, you're just like, it's Star Wars.
It's Star Wars.
I'm happy.
I like it. I'm good.
Yeah.
Nothing's gonna take it away from me, man.
No, I thoroughly enjoyed it all. I will say the Onyx Cinder silver model. I don't even know. It looks like Old Republic, like Knights of the Old, like really old style. So I'm thinking that is like I don't know, like a relic ship or something, because it looks. It's funny because in Star Wars, if it looks new, that means it's old. I don't know. It's
yeah.
So it's like the more advanced it looks, it actually is much older and not as so it's weird. But I do think that it may actually be possibly, I don't know, they may tell us.
You think it's old? You think the ship's that old too?
I think so. Just the way it looks with the style, it reminds me of some of the ships that are in that game.
Okay.
I could be wrong, but I don't know. It's a very cool looking ship.
It is a cool looking ship. Now.
If X-wing miniatures were still a game, I'd want it.
You get this ship,
but no, that's not a thing. So.
Okay. All right. Well, any overall thoughts that you want to share that I think we've pretty much covered this.
Yeah. So we've got 2 episodes left.
2 episodes left.
We know for sure that it's going to be a rush to Aten.
Yeah, I think. Well, they still have to. Well, they got off the planet. They got off this planet, and so, and KB knows the corners. I think they are setting their program. Their navigator, their head right to Aten. I think the next episode. I think the next 2 episodes are at Aten.
It's
easy to say.
Yeah.
I think the next 2 episodes are there. I think the kids are going to get there, and the pirates are going to get there at the same time.
Do you think it'll be like I mean, they've been doing like the title is something that is said in the show, but do you think it's going to be like a part 1, part 2 kind of finale, or just?
I don't know.
Because I'm wondering.
I think the next episode will end on some kind of well, they all kind of had ended on some kind of a cliffhanger. But I think the next one's going to be a big cliffhanger, I think, on the next episode.
And the only other
the final one.
Yeah, the only other thing I could think they might do in episode 7, I have no idea the length it'll be, is maybe KB takes coordinates to the planet with that owl. I don't even know what the person's name is.
Kim.
And maybe get some help with some X-Wings to get there to fight the pirates, possibly. Because she said,
if you need me, just give me a call.
And I could, they can't fight the pirates on their own.
No, I don't think that Aten can fight the pirates.
Yeah, so
yeah, they need to get some New Republic
help. Help from whatever that species and that owl person is, because she also somewhat was understanding of that this is Old Republic stuff. So that's the only other thing I could think of happening in episode 7.
Is they gotta get some help,
and then
maybe kids get to Aten and see the pirates there. They go to Kim to get some help, and then go back to Aten.
Maybe, or I don't know how communication.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how they're going to talk to Kim.
Yeah,
is it a Lobot thing?
Yeah. So, but I could see that being a means of them calling for reinforcements from the New Republic. So that would be. I mean, it'd be cool because it'd be cool to see a space battle between pirates and X-Wings, but. Or they might just do a 2-parter where it's I don't know how the kids would be able to fight a whole fleet. They're kids.
Yeah, because again, and we still don't know. We don't know all the mystery of Aten either. I mean, we know some of it, but the supervisor.
Yeah, there's a whole lot there. Why is this the only one that's so
maybe Aten can defend itself more than we know?
Yeah, it's possible. Maybe they have an automated system of droids.
Yeah, I don't know.
So it'll be interesting.
Excited. I'm excited. That's next week. We're getting closer to the end,
which is then going to be sad.
Which is good because it's the end, but then it's bad because it's the end.
It's the end, yeah. So, but I'm very excited for these next 2 episodes. And
I am too.
I just hope they're longer.
Hopefully. All right. Well, and now is the end of the episode where we have to do all the normal things that we do. If you liked this episode, hit the like button. If you're watching this episode and you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button. We, my friend, are up to 19 subscribers.
Ooh.
We gained one. So whoever you are, whoever was our 19th subscriber, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you,
very
number 19.
much. Yes, I don't know who you are, but
Thank you. Comment if it was you. I don't know.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. Okay. So yeah. Other than that, I have nothing.
That's about all I had to say about the episode.
All right. Well, then I guess until next time, we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.